Welcome everyone to Hireside Chats, where Nesco Nation comes together to share ideas, be entertained, and even learn something while having fun as a team. Today we're going to be talking a little bit and learning about wellness. And we have our own Amy Marn to teach us a little bit more about this. Thanks for being here today, Amy. It's our first virtual episode of Hireside Chats. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and kind of what you're going to be talking to us about today.
Awesome. Thank you for asking me. Very excited. So most of the people listening to this are probably going to know me as an employee advocate or an experience specialist. I'm also a certified health coach. So, and in addition to that, I am a self-diagnosed personal development junkie. So I've been doing a lot of work, a lot of reading and a lot of mentorship and just a lot of work on creating a healthier life for myself and the people that I serve. So that's a little bit about me. What I wanted to talk about today is a couple of things. You know, we're all going through some pretty major uncertainty right now. Everybody's, everybody's kind of in this, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, happen the next hour. We've all been thrown into circumstances that are just, nothing like we've ever seen before.
No one's ever been through it before, yeah.
No, exactly. And so I want to talk about where are our heads at and how do we keep ourselves in a good space to be of value to each other and to feel well, and to just stay in a good mindset, a good physical, mental, emotional state of well-being.
That's awesome. Sounds like we're going to be getting some great information throughout the episode.
I hope
probably ways to look at things a little different. So you don't want to be putting forth the worst. So I'm sure it'll be great. Now I know the other day we'd actually been talking a little bit about Simon Sinek's post that he had up regarding optimism versus positivity. I don't know if you had any extra thoughts or if you wanted to elaborate a little bit more on what you might have thought about that.
Yeah, I do. So Simon Sinek had a post on LinkedIn the other day about there being a difference between optimism and positivity. And I love a lot of what he talks about. So much of it falls right in line with what I coach clients on. And so much of wellness, so much of health and wellness is mindset, and that, people use that kind of like a buzzword. But it's more than just, thinking happy thoughts. And when people hear or learn that I am a health coach, immediately we think about nutrition and exercise and all of those kind of more obvious things.
Sure.
But the way we think is at the crux of our health and well-being. So, and it directly affects everything else that we do. But if you're looking at mindset as I got to stay positive, to me, that's a mind suck. That is, you're the more you think about wanting to be one thing, the harder you get to that one thing, right? You get fixated.
Sure. Yeah.
And it almost becomes its own roadblock. But optimism he was talking about is, you're accepting the reality of what is, but you're still believing in a better, brighter future outcome. And I thought that was really important because, people call me a positive person. Donna calls me a pony person. I'm always looking for a pony in the pile of manure.
Yep.
It's true. But that doesn't mean that I never have a bad day. That doesn't mean that my mind is always in a great place. And if you're striving for that, that's perfectionism. You're striving to always have a positive, outlook on things. It's just not realistic. And that can backfire on you. I talk about, I'm going to have like crap references all through this thing. But all these shoulds and should nots. I tell clients all the time, don't should all over yourself. Like, I should be happy, I should be grateful, I should be whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, but that's not the reality of how you feel right now. So cut yourself a break and accept whatever the facts are of a given situation. But believe that things can get better, because things can always get better. Nothing is permanent. These circumstances that we're in, they're temporary,
right.
And things become really great again. And we're all, back to whatever normal looks like after this. That's going to be temporary too. There will be something that happens after that. Life is fluid, and, we don't go in this straight line. It's kind of all over the place. Right.
Right.
So, but the people that really like the power combo for a healthy mindset and feeling well, mentally and physically, I think the powerhouse combo is optimism and growth. People talk about growth mindset. And so that doesn't mean just accepting reality and believing in a brighter future, but that also looking for, what can I learn? This is happening for me, not to me. So that's, and it's a choice. You get to choose. You get to choose whether or not you stay in that headspace. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. I know you made a point earlier about like almost not dwelling on things too much. It reminded me, we've talked about it a few different times, but more of like the 30-second rule that I used to be told from previous employers, that whether it's good or bad, you should take 30 seconds to dwell on whatever it is. If it's negative, accept that negativity for 30 seconds, dwell on nothing else but that, and then move on to what you were doing. If it's positive, same exact thing. Celebrate it for that 30 seconds. Doesn't have to be 30 seconds. The time doesn't matter. It's kind of like when you get a good placement and you ring the gong. You get your celebration, but you still have to go back to work. You still have to keep getting more. So spend that time to celebrate it and acknowledge that something has happened, and then go back to what you were doing. So not even like, if you have a whole bunch of negative things going on, you should definitely not push them aside and ignore them, but you shouldn't dwell on them so much either. Spend that little bit of time to focus on that, accept it, realize it's bad, and then move on to what you were doing, so that you can kind of get that out of your mind and it's not stuck there while you're trying to multitask and do both, because it's just going to get overwhelming.
Yes, for sure.
It kind of brought me back to that. But no, thanks for going into a little bit more detail on that. I'm sure plenty of people have seen some of Simon Sinek's stuff, but I've noticed a lot of it is really focused on mindset. And if anybody hasn't seen it, there it is.
I just started this. He's doing a book club on LinkedIn. I was telling you about this on Fridays. I don't know if it's every Friday, but so I just started reading this, and
awesome.
I'm into his book club. We'll see, but at least to start reading the book. I have his other one too, or one. He's written more than two. Leaders Eat Last.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm excited to read both of those.
You'll have to let people know how it is.
I will.
And if anybody else has recommendations on how his books are, or anybody else that has good things and good views on mindset and wellness overall, that'd be great to comment them on the video or send them out to anybody in the emails and everything. But I know sometimes, going back to the point of, you're always going to have the bad stuff that comes with the good. There's going to be times when life is definitely throwing you curveballs. You're going to get all the stressors, the anxiety, things you just can't manage to find a way around, and you just have to figure out something to do about it. I guess for you personally, what would you say is one of your favorite ways, or one of the best ways you have found to deal with things when life throws you those curveballs in difficult times?
I would say I would call it my secret weapon, but it's not so secret. I mean,
your not so secret weapon.
Yes, the not so secret weapon. You go on. I mean, if you look at our social media lives, everything is a meme or is it a GIF or a GIF? I never know how to pronounce that.
You're gonna get a different answer every one you ask.
All right, so whatever that is. But it's constant. It's constant. There's something, usually it's one of three things. It's a super serious post. It's photos of your just, regular life, like, food, what everybody's eating or what you're doing with your kids or whatever traveling to, or it's something hilarious. And like when everybody was out buying, hordes of toilet paper, I couldn't tell you how many toilet paper I scrolled through. And it was, but it was a serious thing.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Laughter, humor is my not so secret weapon. I don't think comic relief is so critical to health. And I don't think people realize, like, again, people say, well, okay, you're a health coach. What do you do with your clients? Well, I teach them how to build in these habits. And one of these habits is you need to laugh. You need to have some comic relief. There's a lot of heavy, serious stuff going on right now. And there's a lot of emotions tied to that.
Sure.
And when all of that's tied up in what we're going through, there are things that happen to the brain when we sit in those emotions. And a lot of it, I mean, even down to like the release of cortisol. And there is, there's a gentleman, he's the CEO of a consulting group. And I was on a mentoring session training, that he was delivering. And he was talking about, what that effect has on our brains and our bodies when we see those emotions and we just ruminate about them. So, you've got your serious crap, and then you've got your reaction to serious crap, which is generally fight or flight. And your amygdala goes into high gear, and then you're in worry and fear and survival mode. And then you look for the fart machine. And I know people feel like, what is she talking about? But this is what I'm talking about. This is
a real fart machine.
Yeah, right? So you're looking for that. It's like, and I say the fart machine because my son, he's 7. He's going to be soon. And we're all in this house together in this, I'm working from homeschool situation. And I came in here to do something, and he left this. And I don't know what I was even in the middle of. Something like adulting. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he actually thought I would sit on it, first of all. He was dying, like he was cracking up. And so it lightened the load. It's like,
sure.
Right now with everything going on, it puts me in the mind of, if you find yourself laughing at a funeral home, or you start to giggle in the middle of church, and it feels so inappropriate, or the seriousness of the situation, but it's actually really brilliant. Like your brain is doing something brilliant for your body, because laughter lightens your load, and then you're not sitting in those heavy emotions. And it's physiologically benefiting your health. Is that?
Yeah. And I mean, even in those situations, I like the examples you gave, because you made the point. It's not necessarily accepted to laugh or giggle at church or a funeral home, but I mean, is it really not? Or is that just what we were raised to think, that like when you're at church, it's serious. You need to be focused on church. And
quiet,
I mean,
reverent. Yeah,
exactly. And a funeral home, I mean, that makes sense. It's not exactly the happiest time when you're there.
Respectful and yeah.
But I mean, now if you burst out laughing, that might not be as great. However,
You know what's interesting though? So when I was a kid, my parents, like, I can't remember the first funeral home that I went to, but I do remember people laughing. And I specifically remember, I don't remember the scenario. I don't even remember laughing, but I specifically remember my mom or dad saying to me, you know, that's okay. It's like, it's a release of energy. Again, it's the brain brilliantly helping you cope with a very heavy situation so you don't have to sit in it.
Right.
And, I was just on another webinar within the last week, and it was a physician that was talking about health and wellness, and he said, how did he put it? Like this, you know, anger or worry or fear, you know, it's not like very healthy and well people don't feel those things, but it's not anxiety. I think anxiety is the word he used.
Okay.
It's not like we don't have anxiety, but anxiety is just energy, you know. And I mean, there are some clinical aspects of anxiety, and you know that's what you're referring to. That's a separate thing.
Right.
But anxiety that most of us talk about, it's an energy. So you can choose where you shift that energy to. It doesn't have to stay in anxiety. And when you allow that comic relief and that release, you're saying that you're redirecting that energy.
Yes.
So beneficial to your body and to your brain.
Definitely. And I mean, even going off of that, you say you can choose, and you're obviously not meaning that it's an easy choice.
No.
Just to clear that up for anybody, it's obviously not an easy choice, but you do get to make the choice. And it might be a very, very difficult transition for you to kind of change how you're thinking about it, how you're dealing with it. But one way or another, you're eventually going to find a way to cope. And laughing at church could be a coping mechanism. And there's no reason to look down on that. If it helps you feel better, let it happen. But no, I mean, I think that was very beneficial. We've talked about a lot of good different things, but I think we're coming towards the end of the time we have for today. I guess what I'll leave you with is, do you have any different takeaways, challenges, tips, or anything for any of the viewers that they could take home and try out in their own lives? Yeah,
absolutely. So first of all, I would say, you know, we're talking about choices. So one of the biggest things that I tell anyone that I work with on health and wellness is that you don't have to, today is a new day, and, you know, take life one day at a time. But if that's too much, take it 1 hour at a time. You don't have to wait till tomorrow to choose a new mindset. You don't have to stay stuck in, if you're not feeling positive when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to stay there all day long. You know, you have, every moment is a chance to choose what mindset you have. So the takeaway, you know, my first takeaway is actively choose your mindset all day long. Like at different moments when, you know, just start to notice yourself, start to observe yourself, and start to choose, you know, when you feel yourself kind of slipping into that heaviness, especially now, you know, where things are wonky and, you know, there's a lot of different challenges that we're running into. Make a choice and make it often. Make a wise choice and make it often. And I think you will notice a benefit throughout your days, that you just don't feel as stuck and maybe not as exhausted, because it's a lot of energy to stay stuck in the.
Oh yeah, you almost use more.
Yes. So that's takeaway number one. Takeaway number two would be, don't take yourself so seriously. I mean, if anybody has ever seen me on social media, that I don't take myself that seriously. I mean, I take myself seriously, but not too seriously, you know?
Yeah, right.
When you're talking about laughter and humor and, you know, comic relief and that release, when all else fails, when stress levels are high, do something ridiculous. For me, it's dancing. Get up, your chair, turn on a song, your favorite jam, rock out. I mean, I pull my kids into this too. I mean, they have this structured day, and sometimes sensory breaks and different things. We adults need sensory breaks. You need to get up and move and just be like, make yourself feel ridiculous. Put on a pair of glasses, turn your head sideways. I mean, whatever. But get up, dance, do something that just makes you feel a little silly, and it releases tension.
Resets you in a sense.
Yeah, reset. Yep. Hit the reset button. I love that. Or the fart machine.
Yes, or the fart machine. That could be what you got to reset yourself.
I don't think I'm going to give this back to my kids.
It seems like it's become more your like office decor.
Just wait till we come back into the office. You might.
And it's with everybody. That'll lighten up the mood a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for taking time out of your day to hop on this video. I'm sure many people throughout the company are going to be happy to learn a lot of these things. Some might already know it, but either way, it's great things to hear. Consistency is going to be the only way to be able to really change your mindset. So
love that. You're so
putting it in day to day.
Yes.
But if any of the viewers do have suggestions for topics, anything you're interested in at all that you'd like us to talk about in any of our future episodes, please feel free to comment it on the video. Send an email to hiresidechats@nescoresource.com. We're happy to hear any of the suggestions at all and incorporate those in. We're trying to continue this on for as long as we can, so the more suggestions, the merrier. But other than that, stay happy and stay healthy.